What's good everyone, it's Steve from Sneaker Tech Talk, back with another video today. And for today's video, we are going to take a look at the performance review of the Adidas Harden Volume 7. As always, starting with the traction on the Harden Volume 7s, as you can see here on the bottom, it does have a multi-directional traction pattern. So in the forefoot, you do have some circular portions, and at the heel, you definitely have some big circles here. And the heel portion is translucent, and then the forefoot portion is solid rubber. And then these two pods here are herringbone. So I'm assuming those pods are kind of positioned like so, with the herringbone traction pattern just kind of twisted to the side a little bit for James Harden step backs. And how these perform on indoor courts, whether it's clean or dirty, these will have you covered. They're fantastic. On dirty floors, you will have to wipe every 5 or 6 plays, but I never slipped out at all in these. So it's one of the better traction patterns out right now, and a huge step up from what Adidas has been doing in the past. And another thing I did want to note is the rubber compound is not overly soft. So I think this is a very viable option for outdoors. My only concern is that $210 Canadian price point. It's very expensive. So I would grab these on sale for outdoor use, but not at regular retail. But again, how these performed on indoor courts, they're fantastic. On hard lateral cuts or any forward motions, I did try a ton of step backs in these and they performed great. So I think Adidas has a pretty big hit for the traction on the Adidas Harden 7. So as far as the traction goes, I would have to give these a very solid 9 out of 10. So as far as the cushion goes, it actually might be one of my favorite aspects of this shoe. So starting at the back of the shoe, you actually have a really oversized heel puck of Boost. So on the medial side, you can see that white Boost right here, and then it reads Boost. And then at the back on the outsole, you can see some more exposed Boost right there. And how this performs at the back of the shoe is it offers a ton of impact protection at the back of the shoe, and it's not unstable because it has this caged portion right here. And the caging is kind of a soft rubber or plastic TPU, so it does flex nicely when you do heel strikes. And then moving your way up front, you do have light strike in the forefoot, and the way that performs is it's very low to the ground while still offering some decent impact protection and just a little bit of springiness in your forefoot. So I really enjoyed the overall cushion setup here on the Adidas Harden Volume 7. As far as the heel to toe transition, it's very natural because that Boost coupled with this caged portion here, it's a very stable ride, and then it transitions really nicely into that light strike. So really no gripes as far as the cushioning goes. I'm just interested to see as far as this Boost on how long it will last, because I have had Boost break down over time in basketball shoes on some previous Harden basketball shoes. But it'll be interesting to see how these hold up. Absolutely one of my favorite cushion setups of the year. It was very enjoyable to play in. So as far as the cushion goes on the Harden Volume 7, I would have to give these a pretty solid 8.5 out of 10. And one last thing I did want to mention is in the heel right under the insole. I'll see if I can throw a photo up, but the Boost is exposed in the heel. It's kind of like a Boost strobo board, so it's directly under your heel, and it just offers a ton of comfort at the back of the shoe. So that's just one last thing I did want to note as far as the cushioning goes. As far as the fit goes in the Harden Volume 7, I'm going to keep it short and sweet. It's a very snug, great overall fit. I would say go true to size. Unless you're a wide footer, I would go up half a size. But for me, I went with a size 10.5, and my toe is right near the end of the shoe. It's a very snug fit. And as you can see here, it kind of tapers down a little bit here at the toe. So like I said, if you're a wide footer, go up that half a size and you should be good to go. One thing I do want to note is it does have this ankle sock collar, which I'm usually not a fan of. But since this one is kind of like spandex and it stretches nicely and it conforms to your ankle really nice as well. So I really enjoyed the overall fit on the Adidas Harden Volume 7. If you guys have tried them out, let me know. But for me, I'm going to have to score this a very solid 9 out of 10. So as far as the materials go on the Adidas Harden Volume 7, honestly, it's just a really cheap setup. So starting at the toe box, you do have this synthetic nubuck here. It's very thin and really nothing to write home about, but it does perform nicely on foot. And then these side panels here are inspired by like a puffer vest as far as I'm concerned. I did a little bit of research and that's kind of what they were inspired by. It definitely hugs your foot nicely. And again, it's really nothing to write home about, especially at that $210 Canadian price point. At the back, you do have like a felt-like material. Again, it is synthetic, so it's a pretty cheap setup throughout. In my opinion, if they're gonna run with this kind of material setup, I think you should drop the price point of the Harden line by $15 or $20 because the material choice is pretty cheap. I know on some pairs they do have a synthetic patent leather as well, but I guess for what you're getting and the way it performs, it's really not that bad, but I would just like to see the price point dropped just a little bit. One other thing I did want to note is this toe, this nubuck toe here is independent, as you can see here. So it's only stitched around here and then nothing right here. So it does flex really nicely with your foot. And as far as the aesthetics go, I think they look great. Very striking as far as the overall appearance of the shoe. But again, my only gripe is the price point as far as what you're getting with those materials. So as far as the materials go, I'm gonna have to give these a 7 out of 10. And just one last thing about these materials is that these shoes are an absolute hot box. The only place you're getting any breathability here is kind of on this neoprene tongue running up the eye stay. But other than that, everything within this shoe, 360 degrees around the shoe, is trapping heat within it. So it's a very hot basketball shoe. So as far as the weight goes on the Adidas Harden Volume 7, this is a size 10.5, and these do come in at 18.1 ounces. So one thing I want to note here is it does feel pretty heavy in hand, but once these are on foot, I feel like the weight is distributed pretty evenly and it does not feel heavy on foot. But as far as the overall weight, these are pretty heavy basketball shoes, especially in my size 10.5. As far as the support goes, this is one of the best features of this shoe as well. So starting at the back of the shoe, you do have this internal heel counter, which is pretty rigid here at the back. And then you do have this TPU heel wrap. It is caging the boost, but it does offer as some support on those hard lateral cuts. As you see, it does come up here on the lateral and medial side. Moving your way up from that, you do have this support wrap that does wrap up the side of the shoe, and it just really harnesses your foot in on those hard lateral cuts. At the bottom of the shoe, you do have this TPU support plate, and it offers great torsional rigidity here on the Harden Volume 7, and it's not restrictive at all either. So you can see here through the translucent outsole, it does run to about right here, and then it runs up to the forefoot, and it just really offers some great torsional support and rigidity. And then this lacing system is kind of a hidden lacing system here, a traditional lacing system. And just the way when you tie these, if you snug them up really tight, it does kind of wrap this upper right around your foot. So the support in the Adidas Harden Volume 7, in my opinion, is fantastic. It kind of checks all the boxes in my opinion, having that lateral support right here and at the heel, the internal heel counter, the lacing system, and then at the bottom having that TPU shank plate. In my opinion, the Adidas Harden Volume 7 will not let you down as far as the support goes. So for me, I'm gonna have to score these a very solid 9 out of 10. So that's gonna do it for today on my performance review on the Adidas Harden Volume 7. In my opinion, one of Adidas' best basketball shoes of all time. It definitely takes me back to like the early 2000s, just with the overall design cues and the colorway here, this yellow colorway. It reminds me of some of those older Kobe's. But let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Have you guys played in the shoe? Let me know what you guys think of the shoe, of the aesthetics go. For me, I enjoy them all the way around. My top 3 favorite features would have to be that aggressive traction pattern and just the way it's very reliable on indoor courts, whether it's clean or dirty. The cushion setup as well with that boost puck in the back, the light strike up front. I like to be close to the ground, and you're very close to the ground here on the Adidas Harden Volume 7. And then lastly, the support features with the internal heel counter, this wrap on the side at the back of the shoe and at the lateral portion right here. here, and just the way the shoe supported my foot, I really enjoyed it with that torsional plate at the bottom. It just offered some great support features here in the Adidas Harden Volume 7. As always, if you guys can like, comment, and subscribe, that does help the channel a ton. And stick around for the end of the video, as I do have some on-court footage of me playing in the Adidas Harden Volume 7. And check out my Instagram over at 23mj88, as it is an extension of my YouTube channel with all my pickups, basketball footage, and nostalgia as a whole. As always, thanks for watching today's video, and until next time, peace.
Switch sides, like even when I die, I'ma ride for the squad. Let her ties in the hearse. I've been on a vibe, kinda hard to describe. I'm in between, I'm good and it's fine, but I'm tired of the grind. Then I come alive in the night to realize I'm in the middle of the time of my life. I'm never so packed for the stack, never lied on the rap. Got a bag from the way that I write it. Queen looking Tyson, through that ass survive, doing 80 to the house. Then I hit it to the sky, change haters on a tirade. Talking to the grip in the face, be still, let that hate stuff fade. We all want the same, we all want a meal in the safe. I wanna live like I'm trying to reach enlightenment. Trail spill from my lips, feel big from the bib. Take a sip till I pass out. Try and get grit, but it don't make sense, cause you can lose life on this fast route. Yeah, turn thoughts to a cash cow. I might flip that to the glass house. I don't need the accolades, I'm in love with the chase. I just wanna eat, save a spot at the table. Beats with the slap, pin myself on the map. Long with the wind, but we knowing that it's cap. 5-hour flights, couple nights at the flat. To be real, couldn't see me making moves while I'm at. I'm still on the grind, limit time when I chat. Burning down sage, keep the demons away. When I write it, give a piece of myself to the page. I don't do it for the praise, love, that's just how I'm made.
From the glass in the mirror,
Yeah.
threw it at me, old man, tryna pass in the fear. You're the first one to talk, but the last one to hear. Eyes blurry, but I couldn't see the ass, and it cleared down. Start to feel like I'm on one. Settle in, I'll be here for the long run. I'm a slave for the cash, got snakes